how to use options in the stock market. To sell the options, option buyer is a low probability. If you sell options, you can make money on your investments. Hi friends, as I promised in my last video that I'll be coming out with some videos in which I'll explain how to use options in the stock market. So there are two kinds of options, call options and put options. I'll explain today only call options because if I take both of them, it will be too long, and I'll explain the call options, and then in the next video, I'll make a video on put option and I'll give you some examples of how to use call options. All right, guys, let's go. Options are a shortcut for people who wants to play the stock market but they don't have money. So there are two kinds of options. One is call options and second is put options. Okay, call options and put options. So why they created options? In fact, the stock exchanges created options for people who don't want to invest the whole amount of money, but they want to gamble. Like if you want to buy a stock for $100, so 100 shares will be for $10,000. Somebody doesn't have a $10,000, but they want to play the stock. They want to play, they have knowledge that the stock is going up or down, so they can just put a little bit of premium and they buy options. So the price goes up or down, so they can make money with the down payment which they gave, the premiums. So if the stock doesn't move the way they want to move, they lose the premium. So it's like a lotto. So some people want to be rich. So what do? They buy a lotto. Suppose you buy a lotto for $5. If you hit the lotto, you make 100,000 or 500,000, whatever. But if you don't, you lose your $5. So this is options. People play options by paying a premium to speculate the price of a stock, go up or down. So they make money. So if the stock doesn't move the way they want, then they lose the premium. So what I do and what I want to teach you guys, to sell the options. Option buyer is a low probability. Like buying a lotto. How many times you hit a lotto? You have been buying a lotto over years and years. How much money you give? So that is selling of a lotto. They make money. So if you sell options, you can make money on your investments. So I'll explain you how. Today we'll be talking about call options only. So I'll try to be simple and easy. Suppose you buy a stock for $100 and you spend $10,000 for 100 shares. $10,000 is your investment. Company A. So what happens? You wait for the company price to go up so that you make money. Or the company pays dividends. That's the only two ways you know that you can make money, only by two ways. If the stock appreciates, and the second, you get a dividend. Dividend is negligible. But I'm going to tell you the third way you can make money on your investment. That is called covered call. Covered call. So covered call is whatever stock you have $10,000. So you can make money on your stock every month, every 2 months, every 6 months, every 1 year. So if you sell options to the people who want to buy the options, they pay you the premium. So you keep the premium and the stock doesn't go to the required strike price, then you keep the premium. Like if they don't hit the lotto, they lose their amount they pay for buying a lotto. So guys, first you need to understand a few things. This is called call options. Somebody is buying a call option on a stock which you hold. Okay, company A. and then they pay a premium to you that this price of $100 in like say 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, that is called expiration period. Let me tell you little things. One is the call options. Second is the premium they pay for you to gamble. And another point is time of expiration. There has to be a time. Expiration date, that is called expiration date, because they give you a premium and speculate that the price of this stock of $100 will go to 120, and then that gives them a right to buy your stock at 120. The price is $100 today. This is called current market price. Okay, this is called strike price. So strike price is a price which they want to buy your stock for. If it goes to 120, they have a right to buy your stock for 120. So for this, getting into contract with this, they pay you a premium. 100 shares is equal to 1 contract. 100 shares is 1 contract of options. 1 call option is 100 shares of any company in America. Okay, so they think the price is going to go 120 and over, and you have $10,000 buying a stock at $100, so your investment is $10,000. So you take their premium. Okay, if the price hits 120, they have a right to buy your stock for 120. So you bought it for 100. If they buy it for 120 in like 1 month or 2 months, so you should be okay, because you make 20% money on that, and on top of it you get a premium. So that is called a premium. Premium is call option premium, which they pay as you, the buyer of the call option, to get into a contract with you that they will buy your stock for 120 before a specific time. So that is called a time expiration time. That can be 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. And this premium depends on time and on the strike price. This price can be 120, this can be 130, 140, 150, any price can be 110, any price over this $100. They will like to buy this by paying a premium of, say, they pay you suppose $3. So 100 shares, $3 is 1 share. So for 100 shares, they pay you $300 to get into a contract with you, and they buy a call from you. So they pay you $300 upfront. You keep that $300. Now your obligation is, if the price, and suppose let's do the date of expiration. It is January 16th, 2026, 2.5 months from now. I'm just giving an example. It can be like December 15, it can be February, it can be anything. Okay, so let's say January 16, 26 is the expiration of the option expiration date. So if they pay you $300 and they get into a contract with you that before January 16, 2026, before or on that date, they will have a right to buy your stock of this company A for $120. Okay, they pay you $12,000 for the stock, and they take your shares, 100 shares. So shares are gone. So that is called settlement. Okay, but if the price doesn't go to 120, then January 16 comes. So everything goes to zero. The $300 goes to zero. So you make $300. So their $300 is gone. This goes into your pocket. So for having a stock of $10,000 investment, so you sell a call option to somebody for a price which you are happy to sell this stock for 120, 130, 140. If you think, oh, I'm going to sell this stock for 140, if it goes to 140, I'll sell it. So okay, sell the covered call for 140. So you will get some premium. So the strike price close to the current market price, premium will be more because the chances of stock going to the strike price are more. If you go too far from the current price, you go to 130, the premium will be less. 140, premium will be more or less because the chances of 140 are less than 120, than 110, 105. Okay, you can sell even for $100. So you'll get more premium. Okay, so anything over 105, this is called out of the money call option. So they buy a call option. I'll explain it to you with an example, okay, of a real stock. And that's the actual deal I did, and I'll explain you that. Okay, there is a stock called AMD, because you will understand it better. You have 100 shares of AMD in your account. The today's price was $256. You bought this stock for $200, suppose, for example, or $225 or whatever price. Even if you buy at $256, doesn't matter. Your investment is $25,000, right? $25,600. Now you make money if the price go up, but if the price stays at $256, you don't make any money. But I'm telling you a way to make money even if the price stays at $256. Big money, good money. Let me show you the real example. Okay, if AMD is $256 today, if you think you're going to sell it for $300, you're comfortable selling this stock for $300, so you will make $4,500 in 2 months. So let's take the example of expiry date January 16th, 2026, 2.5 months from now. Today is 30th of December. So January 16, 26, 2.5 months. This is just an example. You can do February, you can do March, you can do April. You can go up to 2 years. Okay. So your investment is $25,600. You have 100 shares of AMD in your account. What you can do is you can sell a call for this stock with a strike price of $300 because you are comfortable selling this stock for $300. And the date of expiration is January 16, 2026. Right? So they pay you a premium of $13.10. This is the real premium today. They pay you $13.10 upfront. So you get $1,310 today as a premium. But you have a contract that if the price goes to $300 before January 16, 2026, then you will have to sell this stock. He has a right to buy this stock for $300 from you, and you keep $1,310. So you sell the stock for $300. So you get $30,000. Your investment was $25,000. You make $30,000 plus you make $1,310. Most of the times, what happens is the stock price stays $256, $260, $280, $290, $299 up on January 16, 2026. If the price is $299, what happens? You keep $1,310 which he gave you, and you still keep your stock. You keep your 100 shares of AMD. You don't have to give it away. You have to give this stock to the buyer only if the price goes beyond 300, because 300 is the strike price. You got my point? So most of the times the price doesn't go to 300 and their $1,300 go waste. They are buying a lotto for $1,300 and you keep the premium. So by holding a stock of $25,000 investment, 100 shares of AMD, the price is $270. Suppose after on January 16 the price is $270. From 256 the price goes to $270. So your value of your stock goes up. You make $1,400 plus you make $1,300 extra. So this $1,300, let me calculate for you that how much is $1,300 return on your investment. So your investment, original investment is $25,600. So $1,310 you make in 2.5 months. So that is about 5.2% return on your investment. That is for 2.5 months. So that is about 2% per month, 24% per annum. If the stock is 270, 280, 290, you keep your stock and then you can sell an option for further 2 months down from January to March. Then you can get again $1,300. So you keep doing it every month. You can do it every 2 months. You can do every week. You can do 6 months. So depending on the way you want to do it. Okay. So you get 24% return on your investment, and that is not capital appreciation. That is just a return. That is a rent on your property. This is your property. You get this rent, $1,310. So 24% return. Doesn't matter where the price goes. If the price goes to 250, 240, 230, you keep the stock. So you are guaranteed to make $1,310. That is the premium he gives you upfront. You keep it. Let me give you another example to make you understand easy. This was a little expensive stock. So let me give you an example of, there is a company called Hims. Hims and Hers. You must have heard of it. The price, current price is $44 today. Okay. So you bought 100 shares of Hims at $30, $40, $44. Maybe you bought it today for $44. So your investment will be calculated on today's price. Your investment is $4,400 today. And you think the price can go to 50, 55 or 60, I'll sell it. Okay. Or you think the price cannot go to $60 by January 16th, 26, 2.5 months from now. So if the price stays at 4,400, you don't make any money, right? Okay, I give you an example that if you sell Hims call options, covered call options for Hims for $60 strike price, and the date of expiration is January 16, 26, and the actual premium on this is $3.30 per share. So for 100 shares, it will be $330. So you make $330 premium. The guy pays you $330. So on your investment of $4,400, you make $330 for sure. Okay. So that is again about 26% return for 2.5 months. For 2.5 months, 26% return. Okay. No, 26% is per annum. So you make a return of approximately 5.5% in the 2.5 months. 4,400, $330, you make 5.5% return on your investment. That is 2.5 months. So annualized 26%. You make 26% return on your investment of $4,400. Plus, if the stock goes to 50, you make $600 more. If the price goes to 60, that is the strike price, then you will have to sell this stock for $60 to that gentleman who paid you $330. That's why he gambles. So what happens? Your 4,400 becomes 6,000. So you make 1,600 here plus $330 here. So you make $1,930 on your $4,400 investment. You should be happy about it, right? You almost made more than 50-60% return on your investment of $4,400 in 2.5 months. You should be happy about it. If the price doesn't go to 60, it stays below 60, then you keep the premium. That is your rent money from your property. So you make this money. So that is called covered call. You sell options, you keep the premium, and you keep the stock until the stock hits the strike price. So you can go to 70, the strike price. If you think you want to sell it for 70, you don't want to sell it for 60, then your premium may be not 330, it may be 230. You make less premium because the price is higher. So if it goes to 70, then you make this capital appreciation from 44 to 70, plus you keep 230. So it depends on you. How much premium do you want to have? How much strike price, which strike price you want to sell this stock for? You got it? So that's how you make about 26% return on your investment. That is called covered call. Every individual stock has call options. So any stock you buy, you hold it and you sell a call premium and you make extra money. Otherwise, if the stock price remains at 44 HIMS, you don't make anything. But if the price stays at 44 and you have sold a covered call, you make $330 every 2.5 months. Every 2 months you make $350, right? So you buy 200 shares, you sell 2 covered calls, you make $660. And now I'll give you another example of Tesla. Real quick. Tesla, today price was $440. Okay, so January 16th, let's do the same thing. January 16th. If you think you have investment $44,000, because if you want to buy this stock for 440, so you have to spend $44,000. If you think you can sell it for 500, you sell a covered call for $500. Same January 16, 2026. Okay, you get $25 premium per share. So 100 shares mean you get $2,500 premium for 2.5 months. So if the stock from 440 goes to 500, you make 6,000 here and 2,500 here. You make $8,500 in 2.5 months. If the stock remains at 440 or 450, 460, 470 before, like until 500, if it stays below 500, you keep this premium 2,500 and you keep the stock. If it goes to 510 or 500 or whatever, above 500, then you have to sell this stock to that person for $500. So you make $50,000 for selling the stock for 500, plus you keep 2,500. That is a covered call premium. So you should be okay. You cannot be in a loss. You make $6,000 here, you make 2,500 here. Should be happy. So if the stock remains at 440 or it stays at 430, 420, whatever, below 500, you keep this $2,500. And that is, gentlemen, 5.7% return for 2.5 months. That comes out to be approximately 27% return on your investment of 44,000. You make an investment of 44,000, you can make 27% return excluding the capital appreciation. This is without doing anything. If you keep the stock like that, you miss this money. The stock stays at 440 after 2.5 months on January 16th. You don't make anything. They don't pay you any dividend, right? But if you sell the covered call, you guaranteed make 27% per annum return on your investment. That is called covered call. So don't keep your stock in your portfolio without selling a covered call. Sell the covered call and make an extra premium. It's like you have a property and you wait for the capital appreciation of the property and you don't get any rent if you don't have a tenant in there. If you put a tenant in there, you get the capital appreciation plus you get a rent every month. So the rent from the property every month is the same as getting call option premium. Hope you get my point, guys. So what I'll be doing, these are real numbers, okay? These are not, I didn't make them. These are real numbers of today, 30th of October. So I'll make a video at least once a week and I'll let you know what I have done. You have to select a stock. You have to select a strike price, date of expiration, and you have to calculate how much premium. So I'll explain it to you what I am doing, how I am doing, how much return I am getting. And if you want to copy, you can do it. But I am not a financial advisor. I'm not advising you. I'm just doing it for educational purposes. Use your own research. Do your own research. Learn by yourself. This is just an information. So you feed this information in your mind, watch some videos, do some research, and if you like it, you can make extra money on your portfolio. If you have a portfolio of $1 million, imagine how much money you can make. You can make a living out of covered calls. Next video, I'll tell you another beautiful thing. That is put options. Put options are even more lucrative. You can make more money easily by selling put options, same way as this option. In this, you have to buy a stock. You have to have a stock. And put options, you don't have to have a stock. You can still sell the put options and make money every month. Alright guys, in the meantime, I request you to watch some videos on the YouTube if you're interested, that how to make a living by selling puts. By selling put options, how you can make a living out selling put options. So that way, you have some idea how this put option selling works. Hope you enjoyed this. And gentlemen, please subscribe to this channel and give a thumbs up. Like this video if you like it. And then I'll be making video every week at least. Give you examples, what I'm doing. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very best. Take care. Bye-bye.